Do you remember your first snap?
James Harrison against the Steelers. Yeah, I do.
And how'd that play go?
I think I pancaked him. No, I don't remember exactly, so this might not be completely true, but I'm pretty sure I pancaked him and, gave him one of those like standing over the top things that you get a flag for now. Like, oh, you like that? Welcome to the NFL. How about you welcome me to the NFL?
I like it.
Don't tell James I said that, by the way.
He's still scary as hell.
Dude, have you seen him on Instagram?
Of course.
Like, if I saw him on the street, I'd still call him Mr. Harrison.
What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Roman. I am on one Harbor.
No, you're definitely on one. Clearly, we're going to have a good one right here because our guest has good energy. Peanut has good energy.
You got the energy.
I have good energy.
I took a nap. I had to rest my mind for a couple minutes.
It's okay, man. Just shut it off. It's all right, man. Let's get it back going. Who we got?
Hey, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he is.
10 Pro Bowls, like 10 straight Pro Bowls, 6 first-team All-Pros. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pod, Mr. Joe Thomas.
Yes!
Woo. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the pod, man. We appreciate you coming on. I like the hat. What hat is that?
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you asked. This is the hat that we're now selling for my farm, my Hall of Fame beef hat, and it actually fits my giant melon. So for those of you guys out there that got the big head, this is the hat for you.
I like that. Was it the olive green? I like the green. I like the
the green.
You got a farm. Where's your farm at?
My farm is in southwest Wisconsin, outside of Boscobel. It's about an hour west of Madison.
He even said that like a way. Wisconsin. Like,
well, I've been in Wisconsin and then Ohio my whole life, so you catch a little accent.
Just never
there.
left. Now, what do you sell at your farm?
So we're selling all beef products, right? We raise beef cattle, so obviously steaks and things like that, but also beef jerky, beef sticks, summer sausage, all the good stuff. Oh yeah.
You literally after this, you're gonna have to give me the card. I found
I got one in my bag. Don't worry. I'm always selling, right? If it's your business, you gotta be selling. I literally
just bought almost 300-400 pounds of beef from a butcher.
Nice.
And I think they're in Montana somewhere. They ship it to me, but
we'll ship right to your door. Or I might deliver it, right? Depending on how this interview goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're raising the best stuff.
I'm not too far from Milwaukee.
Perfect. That'll be easy. I'll come deliver it myself with bells on.
Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Because we did a Ragnar run.
You guys
convinced me to do this.
We ran from Chicago to Madison.
Yes.
You ran from Chicago to Madison in like 1 year?
In one day.
Oh my goodness.
24 hours.
24 hours.
And so our
we're dumb.
Yeah, significant others convinced us. Somehow I got drug into this. This is not what I do, is run.
All right, so we're doing it this year again. All right, let's go.
That was the last one I did.
Yeah, but I did go to, that was my only experience of Madison, though. It was really, really cool.
Beautiful
right
spot.
by the water.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It was really nice. The weather was actually decent, too. So
hopefully it was summertime.
It was.
Yeah.
But it still got cold.
Yeah, but it's a nice cool. It's cool. It's not cold in the summer, right? It's where you want to be.
I'm from Alabama, so
it probably felt cold.
It felt cold to me. All right, I want to ask you first thing. What were the emotions that you were going through when you saw country music star Morgan Wallen rocking the Joe Thomas 72 jersey back in Wisconsin?
Not Wisconsin, but similar. It was interesting because me and my family were big Morgan Wallen fans. He's obviously one of the biggest, if not the biggest star right now in music. I didn't know any of it. And I found out through a text message that it was happening. I was at the concert. We had our 4 children. My youngest is 6. Reese, we love you very much. Although in that moment we didn't love you so much. So there was a little rain delay at the beginning of the show, so it kind of got pushed back. And then when they started, we made it to like 10:45 or so, and it was a Sunday, so like kids had stuff going on Monday, and my daughter would not stop crying. She was so tired.
Meltdown.
My 6-year-old. And finally, after like 30 minutes of it, my wife's like, we just got to leave. Like, she's not going to make it. Like, we've already seen a lot of the show. It's great. So I throw her over my shoulder. I'm carrying her to the car. We just get right outside of Camp Randall Stadium. We hear the concert still going on, and all of a sudden my phone is just blowing up like crazy. And I got an Apple Watch on, so I'm like kind of peeking to see who's hitting me up. Why am I getting so many messages at 11 o'clock on Sunday night?
Yeah.
And like the picture pops up. And I go, you've got to be kidding me. I go, Annie, Morgan Wallen, he's singing right now, and he's wearing my jersey. And we're walking out of the stadium. And I was like, should we tell the kids? Because they're going to hate their sister forever. But it was a really cool moment in hindsight because I think that picture of him wearing my jersey, which was completely a surprise. My wife got a little commemorative ticket printed out and we put it up in the office. And I'm like, that's forever going to bond me and make me think of my daughter. Maybe in the moment there was some mixed emotions, but it's just cool. We had that memory and it's going to stick out probably even more if we were just sitting there enjoying the concert the way it was.
Well, you got a great story out of it.
Exactly.
And, the Cleveland Browns as an organization, they when you went into the Hall of Fame, they put up a whole list of numbers to kind of support you in your career, right? And the number 23 was the number of quarterbacks that you blocked for during your 11-year career. How many out of these 23 do you think you can name? I've seen you on another show. You're pretty good at this.
ESPN. I did a show once and named them all, but that was 6 years ago.
Okay.
So
let's test the memory.
I'm okay at the beginning, and then the end is okay, but in the middle, some of those middle years.
No, when I went through the list, I was like, I didn't even know he played there.
Right. You didn't even know he was in the NFL, probably. Who was that guy?
It's kind of similar to me in Chicago with all the quarterbacks we've had.
You didn't have 23, but all right, Joe.
Yeah,
go.
Pressure's on. So we started with Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, Seneca Wallace, Jake Delhomme, Josh McCown, Colt McCoy, Austin Davis, Robert Griffin III.
I didn't know that he played for you guys.
Yep. Terrell Pryor took a couple snaps at quarterback in emergency situations. Charlie Whitehurst, touchdown Jesus.
Clipboard Jesus too.
Clipboard Jesus also. Yes, clipboard Jesus. Touchdown Jesus is in South Bend. Different guy. Same level of fame. Johnny Manziel, forgot about him.
I was waiting for that.
In my mind, I'm like, did I play with Johnny? Yes, I did. I have a lot of scars still from those Manziel days. Brian Hoyer.
Yep,
actually
good call.
had a decent season there, 7-9. Bruce Gregkowski, Brandon Whedon, first round draft choice.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. Thad Lewis, Josh Johnson.
Yes.
One of my favorite NFL stories.
It's crazy how long he played in the league.
I think he's still playing. Year 17, he way outlived me in the NFL. Yes. Ken Dorsey, Cody Kessler. Yep, USC, third round pick, I think.
Armani Edwards was on the list.
It may have been concussed during that game. I don't remember.
It happened. And the other one is DeShone Kizer.
DeShone Kizer, yep.
Kizer.
He was our starter my last season-ish.
Ish.
Yeah, so not bad. I haven't gone through that list in a while. And there's a lot of names on there. Not as many Hall of Famers.
Not as many.
Not as many guys I see at the Gold Jacket.
Do you know your very first guy?
Yeah, it was Charlie Fry. Because I had him for exactly one half of football. He was our starting quarterback. He was our captain, local guy. They benched him at halftime of week 1, and they traded him the next day to Seattle. And I never have seen him since.
That's awesome. Okay.
That was your welcome to the NFL moment. Hey, by the way, that guy is your captain. Oh, he's not going to be here anymore. We just got rid of him.
And your last was DeShone Kizer. So you already hit that one on the head. So good job.
Yeah, not bad.
10,363. That's the number of consecutive snaps you played, which is insane. I don't even know how you even get 10,363 snaps. What does your body feel like having played 10,363 consecutive snaps?
Considering that was 10.5 seasons. Never missed a play. I feel okay by that standard.
Yeah.
I just had my hip replaced 3-ish months ago, but I'm feeling great.
Oh,
Back
really?
to swimming and yoga and play a little basketball.
So you already got the hip done?
Got the hip done.
It was
and I'm
that
feeling
bad.
way better. It was really, really bad. And it was really affecting my back, which I didn't realize they were so linked together, but I was having really, really bad back problems. And the hip was hurting. But since I did the hip, the back is feeling great. So I just have to monitor it. I don't know what it's like for you guys, but there's certain parts of my body, like the outside of my left knee, just because of the position that I was in all the time, that's way worse than other parts. Like I said, I can play basketball slow. It's not competitive, but I can run back and forth, and it feels great because that motion is fine. But if I get into that position that I played in for 10,000 plus snaps, that's the time when I'm starting to feel it.
Look, man.
Do you remember your first? You remember your first snap?
James Harrison against the Steelers. Yeah, I do.
And how'd that play go?
I think I pancaked him. No, I don't remember exactly, so this might not be completely true, but I'm pretty sure I pancaked him and, gave him one of those like standing over the top things that you get a flag for now. Like, oh, you like that? Welcome to the NFL. How about you welcome me to the NFL?
I like it.
Don't tell James I said that, by the way.
He's still scary as hell.
Dude, have you seen him on Instagram?
Of course.
If I saw him on the street, I'd still call him Mr. Harrison.
Dude is always in the gym.
He is.
Always in the gym. Debo.
And congrats, because, I judge people on their basketball, post-football careers as like, do you play half court or do you play full court?
We do full court.
So the fact that you're like, no, I do full court. Like, much respect, dog.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anytime you can get a little sandbag layup, like,
that's right.
Never mad at that.
Yeah, I don't jump for rebounds. Like, I don't even do any of that. I just shoot the outside shots, like jog back,
shoot
play
the J,
half-ass defense.
Yeah,
just get a sweat.
Do you play basketball? I feel like you can't hoop.
Don't be disrespectful. Yes.
I feel like you can't hoop. I ain't never seen you
shoot. A lot
of
locker room fights started over. You can't play basketball. Well, let's settle this right now.
Don't be disrespectful. I've never seen you hoop either.
I can dunk.
Yeah, I can't dunk.
When's the last time you've dunked?
Probably within like the last 3-4 months.
Okay, not bad.
No, dude, I'm a finger roll guy. At this point, I'm straight finger roll.
Iceman.
Yeah. I got another number for you. 0.004. That is your sacks allowed percentage. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but if I was going to guess, I was probably going down that. Either sacks or holds.
Okay.
One of the two.
So neither. All right. So you were really good at avoiding both. So out of your 6,680 pass block snaps, dude, they did a really good job of writing down your resume. You only allowed 30 sacks responsible for. I don't know if they were all even your fault.
None of them, actually. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. Do you even remember the first sack that you probably gave up?
It's weird. Sacks are weird because it's kind of your fault. It's kind of that guy. Could you have done better?
At?
Yeah. Quarterback was maybe a little deep. It was definitely in that game against the Steelers with James Harrison because they had 6 sacks in the first half. So I'm sure that at least half of them was probably my fault.
Okay.
Was there ever a team that you played or a defense that you went against or a D coordinator and he just confuse the shit out of you with the defense and what they would do? Is there a game or a team that just kind of gave you problems? Like every time you play, we're just like, shit, we got to be on our P's and Q's because this quarterback, or excuse me, this D coordinator, he knows how to mess with us.
Yeah, Rex Ryan, Baltimore, because they had all those Hall of Famers on defense, and so he could get away with calling anything. Like he didn't have to worry about covering guys up or covering areas of the field because he knew if he was sending the house, like they were getting home. Terrell Suggs, Jarrett Johnson, Ray Lewis, Haloti Nada in the middle, Trevor Price. Like every one of those dudes was Pro Bowlers and Hall of Famers. And so I remember a very specific play that really screwed us. And it was not very nice of Rex because it was on accident, but they had 10 guys on the field. And as you guys know, like on the offense, when we're looking to block something in pass protection, we're counting, right? Where's our receivers? Who's covering those dudes? Where's the safeties? If they're over the top, right? Now I know that guy's a threat. We got to count him in our count. Well, they had 2 cornerbacks over 2 receivers. The safety was pushed this way, so nobody else was over there. So Hank Fraley was our center, great offensive line coach now in the NFL. And Hank was looking out there, and so he took the protection the other way. Well, they only had 10 on the field, but we didn't count how many guys they had. We were just looking at the structure of the defense. Their safety, right before the snap, came off the sideline. Because I'm sure the D coordinator or whoever on the sideline was
we only got 10.
Get your ass out there. We only got 10. So he comes on the field after, like, we've already pointed to going the other way. We're about to snap the ball. And then now they blitz the nickel corner over there. So
who was unaccounted
we're going
for?
The other way. He was unaccounted for. You can't blitz. There's nobody topping you, right? So it was that where I was like, I know that was on accident, but that was not very nice.
Still worked out pretty good.
We had no idea and no chance to be able to pick up that blitz.
No way. All right. So who's like a defensive end or edge, or who was somebody that, I know you didn't give up a lot, so I won't use the word struggle, but like, man, you knew, all right, this is going to be a day.
Yeah. Well, my entire career was James Harrison and Terrell Suggs in the AFC North. So I was playing those guys twice a year. Justin Smith was in Cincinnati my first few years.
God.
And he was
so
playing
strong.
D-end.
He was so strong.
Yeah, he wasn't yet big enough to play on the inside like he did for the 49ers. And so just in the AFC North, it was a struggle every single week. But then DeMarcus Ware, Dwight Freeney, those are two other guys that always just
What
gave me
separates
fits.
these great pass rushers or guys that are like, okay, is it because they have multiple moves? Is it they still have the speed, the power,
strength,
which one
size?
is it?
Yeah, you always got to have one thing that you do really, really well.
Correct.
But I think the things that make a defensive end really, really tough to block is a guy that can beat you to the inside, he can beat you outside, and then he can run you over.
Yeah.
Because if you can only do two of the three, I can kind of set on the other ones. And then if you're trying to, like, if you don't have power, I can set soft. And then if you try to bull rush me, I can just kind of catch myself after that happens.
Absorb it.
But if I'm worried about, man, Dwight Freeney, like he's got this killer spin move, and I'm sitting on that, and then he runs up the field, okay, I can transition. But then if I'm sitting on the inside and he turns into a bull rush, he's too strong and too fast and into your body too quickly that you can't recover.
And he's got the leverage because
he's like
six-ish.
Six-ish feet.
6-ish.
280. Yeah, so that guy was a beast. But yeah, if you can beat a guy inside, outside, and then you can run him over, like those are the dudes that
I'm
were
gonna make sure I
problem.
write that down.
Yeah. Tell your friends, but there's not many guys that are like that can do all three things really well.
So the league is coming out with a new offensive lineman award. It's called the Protector Award.
Yeah.
You get excited. I feel like every time we ask a guest this, especially a lineman, they go, yeah, it's about time. Yeah. Why do you think it's about time that we start showing some love to the offensive linemen?
Well, because when these guys are up for the Hall of Fame, we don't have to talk about .004 sacks per play and, he played a lot of snaps and, like, he had a lot of quarterbacks and don't you feel bad for him? Like, you can be like, hey, he won Protector of the Year 4 times.
That's a great
People
point.
are like, wow. You know, like as an O-lineman, most of our stats are things that we do that are bad. And it's like, how many times did he avoid the bad thing? Okay, that makes you pretty good. But it's cool as an offensive lineman to get flowers every now and then. And
Absolutely.
get something as an award or get some recognition for doing something good, even though it's, a season-long award. And certainly in every season there's going to be a lot of guys that are deserving. But I think it's great to shine the light on the big fellas every now and then.
So if the league were to come to you today right now and say, Joe, you get to design the award, how would you design it?
That's a great question. Maybe it's a O-lineman, like arms around his brothers in the locker room having a beer after the game. No, I don't think they would allow that. But I think the ones that I always love are like when you see the offensive line pictures and he's got a snarl on his face and snot bubbles coming out of his nose and he's pointing out there. I think those are kind of cool. So something like that where a guy's in his stance kind of like pointing out there with a mean look would be pretty cool.
If you could name it something, what would you name it?
The Protector of the Year.
Okay, so
that's just enough. Okay.
Hey, we're taking a poll here.
Okay.
We're taking a poll here.
I guess I hadn't thought about the name because I thought it already was decided upon.
So tell me this: we like to ask guys what's their welcome to the NFL moment. You already did that.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me what was your welcome to Cleveland moment? Because playing in Cleveland, that's a little different.
It is. It is. I'll give you 2 real quick. One, when I showed up, they were excited. The fans were pumped. And usually if you're an offensive lineman drafted in the top 5, the fans are like, oh, great. We should have had the quarterback or should have drafted the receiver. Like, how about somebody that's exciting, But as soon as I got there, you could feel that Cleveland Browns fans understood the game. They respected line play. There was that blue-collar nature to the fan base that really appreciates good line play. So that was really cool. That was definitely a welcome to Cleveland, just understanding what this fan base is all about. And then the other welcome to Cleveland moment was my rookie year. We're playing the Buffalo Bills. Jim Leonard, he's playing safety for him. And we call it the snowball, although it was not a remarkable game by NFL history standards, but it snowed 7 inches between warm-ups being finished and middle of the second half. So it went from not exactly a day like today, but it might snow a little bit to, wow, it's snowing so hard that I can't see across the field and I can't see the dudes in the other colored jersey. And the film was so bad because it was snowing so hard, we didn't even watch the film because there was so much snow between the lens and the field. It just looked like you were watching like a white screen, like you didn't have the right antenna going.
Yeah. Okay.
How was it? So you were here in that LeBron James era.
Yeah.
How was it like living here, going to the games, just the LeBron James effect or whatever? Like, how was sports in Cleveland during that time?
It was awesome. I mean, Cleveland loves its sports. It's a pro sports town. You know, people talk about New York being a pro sports town, which it is. But Cleveland has that same level of passion where they're following their baseball team, they're following their basketball, they're following their football team, and that's their identity. That's what they do. Like, I'm a Cleveland fan. I love the Guardians. I love the Browns. I love the Cavaliers, and that's the passion. That's what people talk about on the street. If you're going to go get your shoe shined at the airport, that's what the shoe shine guy is going to be talking to you about. Like, they live and breathe pro sports. And when LeBron was there, obviously he's the biggest athlete in the world probably at that time. And we were the center of the athletic world because the stuff he was doing was remarkable, and the fans were coming from all over the country to watch him play. It was awesome. It was really, really a cool time.
Did you ever have a chance to meet him?
I did, yeah. I met him a few times. He was a super nice guy, and he grew up in Akron, but he was a Cowboys fan, but he still had love for the Browns, which is really cool. So, like, even though he would come to, like, we played the Cowboys in my second season, and he had all Cowboys stuff on, you know, but he still had a lot of love for the local team and the other players. And I felt, even though he was such a superstar, he showed a lot of respect, which he didn't have to because he was better than all of us at everything he does. But he showed a lot of respect for common athletes and, like, what you go through and the perseverance and the stresses. And I always thought that was really neat.
Yeah. So I know. Go ahead. Game day, we all have OCD. We all have our routines of what we want to do. I know I have my rituals and my OCD on game day. By your 11th year, it was taking you 4 hours to get ready for pregame. What the hell is a pregame ritual for you?
A lot of it was in the training room with the trainers, like trying to find enough duct tape and Band-Aids to put me together. I mean, I was wearing like 2 back braces, but before you could even put the back braces on, you got to put the back plaster on. Before you can put the back plaster on, you got to get the massage and the Theragun, and you got to get in the hot tub. So it was just a matter of getting the body warmed up and then putting the protective pieces of equipment in place. Like, in that order, that makes sense. And then, you know, still got knee braces and knee sleeves. And I was a guy that was super anal about everything. And so I would tape my wrists, take my gloves to my wrists, put my thumb guards on there, tape that to my wrist.
Would you do a certain wrist first?
What's that?
Would you do like a wrist
like
first?
That you would do?
Left first, so my right was free, right, in case I needed to do anything. But like with my shoes, I would spray that QDA, the quick drying adhesive, on the bottom of my feet, and then I'd put my socks on. I'd spray my calves so my socks wouldn't slide down. I'd spray the bottom of my socks so they wouldn't slide in my shoes. Like, I was anal to the max. So I had a lot of things that I was trying to put together, and I was a guy that saw a lot of time in the training room before the game started.
I didn't know you sprayed the socks.
If you would have tried it, you would have been a believer. I don't even know who taught me that. I feel bad not giving the proper sources the citing, but it made such a difference. Because the worst thing, especially playing in like a hot game, is when your socks get wet and your shoes get wet and then your feet start sliding. Even just a little bit, it just throws you off, and I hated that.
So at what point when you're going through this process, you're like, all right, like, man, I think this is a lot. Did you ever even think, like, you know what, man? Like,
I'm doing too much.
I don't know what to take away though. Like, what do I not do? Like, I don't spray my shoes and I slide and give up the sack. Spray. Yeah, right. And I was okay. I didn't have anything else going on Sunday morning.
What did you enjoy more, run blocking or pass blocking?
Run blocking is a lot more fun, but since we were losing a lot, I got a lot more comfortable pass blocking all the time. I mean, that's why I had almost 70% of my plays were passes. And so when you do something over and over and over and over again, like, you get pretty good at it, you get pretty comfortable. And being that as linemen, we get paid to pass block. Like, I enjoyed run blocking more, of course, but I realized that I was going to get paid for my pass blocking.
What is your opinion on, like, jump sets? Like, jump setting as an offensive tackle. Like, they don't
Explain what a jump set is.
A jump set's like, they kind of fire out like it's a run, and it's just throwing off the timing, so you're not always feel like the old lineman always on the defense. They're always just kicking back, and I just feel like you get a full speed start all the time if you're a defensive end or edge player, and sometimes I feel like it just throws the timing off of a defensive lineman if you kind of jump set them every now and then. What was your opinion on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wanted the biggest tool belt in the game. I wanted to be able to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going against a guy who's got a really good inside move, like I'm going against Myles Garrett, let's say, like I'm probably not going to jump him all that much because it's like two cars coming at each other on a back road highway. Like you're not going 55 now, you're going 110.
Yeah.
So it's harder to react when somebody is making an inside move if you are jump setting him. But like you go against a guy who's a rhythm pass rusher, he's used to taking his 3 or 4 steps, putting his foot in the ground, point of contact, and then he's making his move. If you jump set him, you disrupt that timing. A lot of times it's almost like they give up and they have to restart their engine and then never have time to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when you want to. So when you have rhythm pass rushers.
Yeah, a lot of times.
That's when you use the jump set.
And then sometimes it's specific to the scheme. You know, if you're a play action team and you're doing a lot of play action, you're going to get more of that. If you're running more quick game, and you probably see it a lot more in college because they're doing a lot more like just quick throws, RPOs and stuff like that, where, hey, they want you guys to get the hands down of the defensive line. So you need to get on them quickly because it might be just a quick slant. And if you're setting off, now the defensive line sees the quarterback stop his drop, gets his hands in the air and knocks the ball down.
Toughest D lineman to block versus the run.
Oh. D end or D lineman?
Just D lineman.
Oh.
D lineman.
Ted Washington. Thankfully, I didn't ever have to block him, but you were not moving that dude.
Kevin Mawae had the same thing. He's like, dude, nobody.
He's 410 pounds. I mean, like, I don't know how you move that guy. And most of it was below his chest.
Yes.
I'm not going to say below the waist, but below the chest. And so his gut would kind of hang down between his knees. You weren't getting under that. Guys that I actually blocked, Haloti Ngata would be the next guy I think about, because when you saw him on the goal line, it was like, you better run the other way, or this is not working, no matter if we got a double team or not. He is 360. He gets off the ball lightning quick, and he can put his head down, and he's way stronger than any human being in the stadium right now.
Ted Washington was my welcome to the NFL moment.
Really? I'd love to hear it.
It was awful.
In Chicago?
I absolutely hated Ted Washington. I get hazed. I get dumped in the shower. I get taped up. They throw me in a cold tub, whatever. That's my haze. I take it. Whatever, it's cool. The next day, I go in our locker room, and I had to go in our trainer, equipment manager for something. And I try to leave, and I was like, sorry, guys, I didn't mean to come into the vet locker room. Sorry, I apologize. I'm going to go the long way. So Olin steps in front of one of the doors, and I was like, oh, my fault. I'm going to go the other way. So I try to go the long way.
Oh, no. Now you just can't leave.
Now you just can't leave. So then Big Ted walks up, and he was like, hey, you going to get in this laundry bin, and I'm going to push you around, and you're going to make noises like you driving a car. And I was like, so my manhood kicked in. I was just like, man, hell no. My pride kicked in, and then all the other vets are like, hey, look at Ted and Lil Rook. So I'm just like, no, man, y'all got me yesterday. Respectfully, sir, like, I'm good. Like, I'm not doing that. Y'all got me yesterday with respect. I'm trying to be respectful. He's like, you're going to get your chest in this laundry bin, and I'm going to push you around. Thomas, I kid you not, I had to think about my life. It was like, because I was finna crash out. I was like, hey, I'm a man first. But I had to swallow my pride. I was just like, I'm the new guy. I shouldn't have come in here. So I literally get in this laundry bin, and he pushes me around the locker room, and I have to make these sounds.
Oh, my gosh.
And he is like ramming it in the walls. He's ramming it in the lockers. Yes. And everyone is laughing. It was so embarrassing. So then he squats down, and he picks up the laundry bin with me in it, with some clothes too. Picks me up, and then he just throws it. Me, the clothes, the bin, we fly across the room. I roll over, and I was like, appreciate it, Big Ted. Thank you. And I go out, and I went to all the other rookies, and they're like, where was you at, fool? I was like, man, Big Ted tripping. And then I explained it to them. And then literally the next day or a week later, he got traded to the New England Patriots. And I was like, thank God. I was so happy. But he went on and he got a Super Bowl ring. So it kind of worked out for him.
I had a real brief welcome to the NFL moment with Ted. And it was right after I got drafted. I was there taking a tour of the building. And, after you get there, you got a scout taking you around or whatever, just showing you locker room, equipment room, whatever. And Ted's standing there at the door to the locker room. And I was like, oh, I was trying to be nice. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Joe. And he looked at me like this. He was like, don't touch me, rookie. And he just kept walking. And I was like,
he hated rookies.
Sorry.
I'm surprised he even talked to you. We had a guy on our team. He'd be like, hey, tell the rookie Joe that he needs to go get some whatever. And then the vet be like, hey, Rook, Ted said you need to go do. And you'd be like right there, but Ted would not talk to you for a whole fucking year. He just would not talk to you. And it was just like, dude, like I was so happy when they got rid of
This is
Ted.
like old school too. Like
This is so old school. He was an old school vet.
Yeah. And
old school vet.
And when we came in, it was probably more guys that were like, 10, 11, 12-year guys that have been in the NFL versus now you don't have as many 10, 12-year guys just in locker rooms that were around or raised by 10, 12, 14-year guys. So that part of it is just completely different, and it's pretty entertaining. I mean, that was a good story, Peanut.
It was entertaining.
thank you.
Shout out to Ted Washington.
I ain't seen
Shout
Ted
out.
in a minute,
Shout
but
out
yeah.
to Ted Washington.
You got
over
me,
here.
Ted. I respect it.
I read another article, and you talked about how important it is for offensive linemen to have ankle mobility. Could you explain why that's so important for the offensive lineman position?
So a lot of people think knees, hips, that's where you need to bend. But really, as a lineman, to be able to create force through the ground, you got to have your heel in the ground.
Yeah.
Like you're squatting, right? You don't squat on your toes. Otherwise now, or when you're running, like if your ankles are tight and they're flexed, right? They don't absorb that energy and you're able to spring off of them. So if your heels are in the ground and you're able to bend your ankles, the further you can get your knee over your toe is the more power you're able to create. And that's the most important thing as an offensive lineman, be able to create that power, that starting strength that you got to have. And then as you're pass protecting, being able to stick your heels in the ground, take a stand when you're being bull rushed, and then having that mobility in your ankles to be lower than the man that's trying to beat you.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's. I want to transition this conversation into the second act. Hence how we got the name NFL Player Second Acts Podcast. So have this amazing career, Hall of Fame career, comes to an end. You have to transition. You do something else outside of football. How did you get into the farming space? Like where did that come from?
Not exactly sure. I grew up in Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is a suburb of Milwaukee. I drove past farms, but I was never a farmer.
Yeah.
And I had grandparents, great-grandparents that were on the farm, but like no direct relative that was a farmer. But I was always a country boy. I grew up getting dirty and going fishing and hunting and camping with my family. That's just kind of what we did. So I always dreamed of owning a piece of land that I could take the family and friends to someday and make memories, go camp, go fish, go hunt, do those things. So in 2012, I bought a farm, and then we were raising cash crop, but that's not crazy because I wasn't the one riding the tractor. I hired that out.
When you bought this farm or the land, or how big is the land? How much land do you have?
That's a personal question.
Okay.
Yeah. Big enough to get lost.
Okay. Big enough to get lost.
Yeah.
But is everything already done, or you have to, like, you bought the farm from another person? Is everything kind of set up for you already, or do you have to like start from scratch?
It's set up, but there's always a ton of stuff you want to do. Like you move into somebody's house, like you're thinking about, I'd like to change this, remodel that, maybe rip out the shrubs here and do things like that. So I always liked working on the farm and like getting dirty, and I've been buying all the equipment, the skid loaders and the excavators and the tractors and stuff, because I always wanted to be able to do that myself.
Yeah.
But when I bought it, I was in the middle of playing in the NFL still, so I didn't have that time to do it. So we hired a lot of that out. So it wasn't until 2018 that I ended up getting into cattle, and on the advice of my children and my wife, who said, Daddy, wouldn't it be fun if we have pet cows at the farm? And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to have time for this? I don't know anything about raising cattle. But then I was like, okay, I love to eat beef.
No doubt.
I can't eat my other pets. So these are a great option for getting the kids more pets because I'm going to make them happy. We're going to get some cows out on the farm. And then at the end of the day, we're going to have some delicious beef that we know how it was raised. We know what it ate. And I know that this is probably the healthiest, most nutritious beef that I could possibly feed family and friends. So I was all on board and kind of took off from there.
And you brought up something. You talked about fishing. And I want to know this because I've never got to sit down and talk to you. But you had one of the coolest drafts. Like, you were one of the first guys that, like you were fishing.
Yeah.
When you got the call. Like, I remember this very vividly, like watching your draft process, and you were like fishing. Like, knowing that you were going to be, why did you decide that that's what you were going to do, knowing that you were probably going to get called very early?
Well, because my dad and I would go fishing every Saturday morning as a kid growing up. We'd go out in Lake Michigan and go salmon fishing. We'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and get out in the water by 5. And that was our tradition. That's what we did. That's what I loved to do. And this was back when the draft was just 2 days, and it would start Saturday morning. And so my agent told me, like, hey, you know, the NFL wants you to come to the draft in New York. And I respectfully told him, but I'm going to be fishing with my dad, so it's going to be hard to be at 2 places at one time. And I really never wavered from that because the draft was starting to become a big deal, but they still only invited 5 guys at the time. And for me, I was not a flashy guy looking to buy a new suit and go to the draft. Like, I didn't have dreams as a kid of the moment of me being on stage being drafted. Like, I dreamed of playing in the NFL like a lot of kids who play football. But to me, that wasn't the game. That wasn't my goal. That was just finding the answers to the test, finding out how you did, and then figuring out where's my next team going to be. So it wasn't an event for me that I've always wanted to be at, and I'd much rather go fishing with my dad.
Yeah, so you talked about a dream to play in the NFL. Was it a dream to be beyond just being in the NFL? And what was that dream?
So I went to school for business. I was in the real estate program at Wisconsin, and so I kind of always thought that I'd maybe play college football after I was already there and then go work in commercial real estate or some type of business. I didn't really have a concrete idea exactly what I wanted to do, but I was always getting ready for that moment because I never looked too far into the future and thought, oh yeah, I'm going to play in the NFL. I don't have to worry about this stuff. When I was in college, I just loved being in Madison. I mean, it was #1 party school a few times when I was there, and I had great friends, great teammates. I loved playing for the Badgers. Was in Madison. We got lakes all over the place, so I'd go fishing on my days off. And I just really loved where I was. And so I never really thought too far down the line about, you know, what's next. And it really wasn't even until the end of my junior year when scouts started asking me if I was going to come out for the NFL draft until I realized, like, oh man, I might have an ability to keep doing this thing for a little while.
Okay. That was kind of his story. By him telling me that reminds me of you when we were talking one day.
Yeah.
My story is I always wanted to play in the NFL. Like, I thought about it all the time. I knew I was going to get drafted. I worked so hard for it, freshman, sophomore. Took these classes. Like, I had a plan. I had set out a goal. If in order to get drafted, here's what the things and steps that I have to do. You and I were talking one day, and you go, man, it wasn't until I was
going to my senior
year, I was an All-American, and it was a Playboy All-American.
Yeah.
And then you read a stat or you read a little blurb of one of the scouts. It was like, oh yeah, Rome, blah, blah, blah. He could be a 2nd-round pick. And you were like, damn, I could probably play in the next level.
Yeah.
I was like you. I was just enjoying my college lifestyle. I was just doing my thing.
And I think
not even thinking about
to me, that's crazy to not think that you two were as good as you were at the respective schools that you went to. And I went to I don't want to say a terrible school, but we just didn't have a really good program at the time. And that was the only thing I thought about was just like leaving school and making it to the league. And y'all had resources and equipment, and y'all had really good programs and facilities. But it was just like, no, I'm enjoying my time and I like where I am, and it's a good space. And like, I just couldn't, it's weird.
Yeah,
weird to me.
For me, I was always like, no matter what happens next, it's not going to change what I'm doing today or tomorrow. Like, I'm still going to go out and practice as hard as I can, train as hard as I can. Like, it's different maybe now in the NIL space where you need agents and you need people like contract advisors and things like that. Back then, it was like, I don't even want to talk to any agents. Like, I just want to play as well as I can right now, enjoy it, and then we'll see what happens when it's all said and done. But if I worry about what's happening 2-3 years from now, it might affect what I'm doing right now, and I'm not going to focus on being the best teammate that I can be.
Right. So one of the things that you and I have in common, you had one winning season your entire time in Cleveland. You came from a winning program at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
You have a winning season. You know what a successful winning program looks like. And then you come to Cleveland, and then it's just loss after loss after loss. How mentally tough was it to stay engaged and still perform at a high level while still having a losing season?
It's weird as a lineman, maybe similar to being a DB, that like it doesn't really matter what the score is. It doesn't really matter what your record is. Like, I got to block that guy. That Terrell Suggs over there that wants to rip my quarterback in half, I better help my buddy out back there because it's going to get really ugly. And so I never really looked at the scoreboard. Losing sucks, don't get me wrong. It was really, really tough to be on all those losing teams and to be in the game in the fourth quarter when you're down by 20 and you're thinking about situations like, okay, well, we're in the 2-minute drill for the last part of the game, all fourth quarter.
Right.
But it was in my mind, it was like, all right, how do I handle this situation? I was always trying to think about it like that rather than thinking about, oh man, doesn't this suck? I can't believe we're losing again. But it did wear on me quite a bit, especially towards the end, because we were kind of making a run in the middle of my career when Brian Hoyer was our quarterback. We had Kyle Shanahan was our offensive coordinator. We went 7-9. We were in the playoff mix for a little while. And then after that, we just had even worse season after worse season. And you saw that I was getting close to 10, 11 years in the NFL. Looking at the roster, I don't think we're going to do it, and that one really kind of wore on you because as a competitor, I think you're always convincing yourself, this is how we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Right? You're going into that game with confidence because that's how you have to be to get the most out of yourself. We're going to win this season. That's why you train so hard in the off season, right? And so when you constantly are fooling yourself like that, it wears on you after a while.
Did you ever think about not being in Cleveland?
I never did. There was a couple times. There's a couple times when teams had inquired about trading for me, and there was rumors in the media. The year the Broncos won the Super Bowl, Peyton Manning lost his left tackle Ryan Clady, who was a Pro Bowler, and everybody in Denver knew that they were Super Bowl contenders, and so they were really trying hard. They almost had a deal done right before the trade deadline to trade for me, but I always loved Cleveland. I always felt like I was a Clevelander. 3 of my 4 kids are born there. It's the Midwest. My dad's family's all from Ohio. And as soon as I got there, like I mentioned, it just felt like home to me. And I really wanted to always be part of the turnaround because I thought that story would be so special.
Did you, because it kind of sounds like me. I was born in Chicago, got drafted by Chicago, all my family and friends. I was born 10 minutes from the stadium. They all my relatives, all my aunties, kinfolk, they all still live in the city. I played my 12 years, but I was scared to leave because I got so comfortable. And then when I finally went to Charlotte, it was like a breath of fresh air. And it was just like, man, I should have left 2 years ago. I shouldn't have re-upped. I should have just hit free agency and I know we didn't have a good team, and I knew we were in the rebuild phase, but I was such a staple guy, and I personally was scared. I was comfortable. Do you think you were just too comfortable and just didn't want to go?
I'm sure that feeling comfortable is maybe part of it because feeling comfortable playing really high-level football, that's what you want to do as a lineman. But also, I just felt a deep connection to the organization, and I felt that I was like a servant to the organization a little bit where I want this thing to turn around because it would mean so much to these people, to these fans who I felt like had given me a lot.
Right.
And same thing with the organization. And so even at the end, even the last year and a half when I just knew we weren't very good, I put the perspective in my mind, I can be here helping these young dudes that maybe can be the team that turns it around and wins a championship. So that was sort of my motivation there right at the end. I mean, we drafted Myles Garrett, #1 overall my last season, and it was like, okay, how can I help him become the greatest defensive end in football? How can I help Joel Bitonio, who is my left guard? How can I help David Njoku, who was our rookie tight end? I was thinking about how can I help those guys and build a foundation with culture, with attitude, with leadership, and showing these guys the right way to be a professional that maybe then they're the group that turns it around, and then I can feel good in my own little way, when they do win it all, when they do turn it around, that I was there in the beginning.
Yeah.
You made that your mission.
Exactly.
I want to talk about your media.
Yeah.
So you retire, you go straight into it. How was that transition? How did that happen so fast? And ultimately, how much did you like or love it or hate it?
Well, it's a little like the story of me getting into my farm and Six Springs Farms. I didn't really ever set out to be in the media.
Yeah. Most people don't.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
It kind of found me because when I retired, I didn't really have a clear idea of what I wanted to do. I knew I had a lot of interests and passions, but you're not putting anything into all those when you're playing, because you're putting every bit of energy that you have into your job, into being a great professional football player. But my agent, Peter Schaefer, at the time kind of really pushed me and encouraged me and said, hey, you know what? I've got a lot of media outlets that are asking for you to just come out and audition. Like, there's no pressure. Just go out, do a couple shows, and just see if you like it. And he always gave me really good advice throughout my career. I had a lot of trust in his opinion on things. And so I was like, I might as well at least go out there and take a few auditions and see if I like it. Because how do I know if I like or I don't like something unless I try it?
Yeah, I like that.
Did you like it?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it because I realized, like, as soon as I retired and I was away from the game, how much I love football, which is kind of weird because when you're doing it, it's just such a grind. Every day is exactly the same, and you get into your routine, and you're just grumpy a lot, especially you get older. But like, it's comfortable. I'm grumpy, and I'm comfortable. It's
just what you do.
It's just how you do it, right? It's how you get it done. It's how you go out and practice and be the best version of yourself. But as soon as you're away from the game, you're like, man, I need football as a part of my life.
Yes.
I know coaching is not the answer because I want to have a little balance between work and life. I got these young kids. I got a farm. I got a lot of things I like to do. So how do I stay around the game? How do I still get an excuse to leave the family and go watch a game on the sideline?
Yeah.
And media was the perfect outlet for that.
It is. I just like it because it allows us to love the game, but it doesn't control our emotions with wins or losses.
Joe Thomas has had an amazing life, completely successful on the field, off the field. If you had to pick 4 people that have helped you, shaped you into the man you are today, and you got your own personal Mount Rushmore, who would those 4 people be?
I'd say my dad first, right? He gave me the values that I still am trying to instill into my children. The relationship that we had, the interests that I have, being outside, fishing, hunting, camping, like how to treat my kids, my family, how I'm try to be considerate and caring to the people around me, being a servant to my community. Those are things from my dad. George Warhop, he was my offensive line coach that I had for a long time in Cleveland, multiple head coaches. They always kept him because he was such a great offensive line coach. Really taught me a lot about like discipline and structure and technique and the details. So I really owe a lot to him. I'd say my son, Jack, who has been a big part of just who I'm trying to become and trying to be as a father, and making sure that I can give him the same type of upbringing that my dad gave to me. So that's 3. And 4, I'd have to say my wife. I don't know if that's
it's a great answer.
A legal answer here, but it's legit.
100% legal,
because,
legit.
She was definitely my rock when I was playing, and she was the person that I leaned on when I was struggling mentally with the losses and the feeling sometimes of hopelessness that you get when you're on a team that's not doing very well. And she's also been a good balance when I'm like, go, let's go, let's do this. Like, I'm going to take this job and take that job, and I'm going to travel all over the place, like doing media. And she's like, hey, you retired now. Your kids and your family, they should be the priority. So make sure that you cut out plenty of time for them, because when you were playing, you didn't have that time to be able to spend with the family. And so make sure you do that right now, and you don't overcommit yourself to other things.
Joe, you brought up your wife, and I love that. I want to know one piece of advice that she did give you that sticks with you when you were struggling with some of the mental stuff and things of that nature.
She was really the one person that would say, hey, just talk to me about it. I don't have to solve your problems, because I'm the problem solver. Yeah. Like, if she's got problems, she comes to me. She doesn't like that, because I'm like, all right, let's fix this. All right, this is what we're going to do.
That.
They don't want that.
No.
And so she saw that I was the guy that was always trying to fix it. And in this situation, it's not fixable.
Yeah.
And maybe I needed to take her perspective sometimes on the problem of, hey, just talk to me. Just allow the emotions to come out. Tell me why it's making you feel that way. And then we don't have to say anything else. When it's all over, you're going to feel a lot better about it. And so just having that person that was always that rock when you felt like you were sort of crumbling inside was really, really important.
That's awesome.
I like it. I like that. Well, hey, Joe, you're off the hot seat, baby. That's it. It wasn't too hot for you, was it?
That wasn't too bad. I can survive that.
We're going to get some of that.
The Hall of Fame beef. I'm going to have to get you guys some, because we raise 100% full-blood Japanese Wagyu beef.
Nice.
We raise American Wagyu. That's like the A5 stuff you pay like $50 an ounce for, like at the Vegas steakhouses and stuff. And then we raise certified Angus. So we raise some awesome high quality animals and beef sticks, jerky for the kids. Like,
yes,
they go bananas. My wife puts them in their lunches, and that's a good snack because it's so hard to get kids to eat protein. That's what I've found.
My youngest,
all they want to do is eat chips, popcorn,
it's wasted. It's wasted calories. It's wasted calories.
And the kids are all athletes, so it's like, hey, you need protein. It's the building block of the cell. Let's go. And so we finally found that way that we can get that protein in throughout the day. And turns out we just had to buy them some pet cows. And then we had to eat them.
I like it.
Man, appreciate that. We appreciate you. Thank you, man. You're awesome. I understand why Cleveland loves you, dog. I get it, bro. Hey, man, all of our viewers and listeners out there, thank you for always tuning in, especially wherever you pick up your podcast. Continue to listen to us. Tell a friend to do what, Peanut?
Tell a friend.
Yes, whether it's Apple Podcast or iHeartRadio app, wherever you pick up your podcast. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Give us a like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you still can go out there and check us out in other episodes on the NFL's YouTube channel.
I'm Peanut Tillman. My guy Roman Harper, Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. And this is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. We are out. Cut, print, take that.